Bonjour mes amis, je suis l'illogical Canadien, and welcome back to another video. So, it's been a while since my last one, but hey, why not? Two videos in the same day? Yeah, rare, even for me. But I figured, why not? And get some stuff done. So again, welcome back to another video. And so the topic for this one, just really gonna be talking about some, what's it called? Probably just like some weather stuff, like a weather forum. Just, hey, that's something new. Yeah, while I'm playing NHL 21, just talk about weather stuff. Yeah, because that makes total sense, a logical Canadian. Then again, to that, I just say, where do you think the logical part of my name comes from? Exactly. So, but anyway, let's just talk weather real quick, and what I think it's interesting about it. So, weather is like a story. It's like Earth telling us a story in how each day is being played out from one thing to another. It kind of tells a story, like a sunny day or rain or thunderstorms or whatever. You know, hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, anything. It's all a matter of storytelling by the earth, by Mother Nature, because that's what it is. Because weather is a beautiful thing, and I don't think a lot of people really understand it as much as people would like it to. So, one thing that interests me about weather the most is, tornadoes. Now, why does it interest me? I don't know why it does. It just more so comes from the understanding of how it is they form and under what conditions do they form. So I know kind of a non-channel topic type of thing for me, but hey, I gotta work with what I got. I said in the last video I'll be working with some new video ideas because hey, I wanted to try something new, per se, because I wanted to get a new, like trying to get a new audience from all sides, coming on in and seeing what it is that they could enjoy. So, just stick with me as I talk about tornadoes. So, what is a tornado exactly? Well, a tornado is a rotating updraft that is caused by that is really essentially the formation of three prime ingredients. And these ingredients are simple. The cold air from You got cold air merging with dry hot air from Mexico, and the moist tropical air from the Gulf of Mexico per se or wherever. Along with the jet stream, which is a system in which the storms move at a relative direction or speed or anything. Combining all together, and there's your ingredients for severe weather to unfold. Now, tornadoes, like I said, are rotating updrafts, but the way that they're formed is a little more systematic. Basically, how a tornado is really formed is more so of what goes on inside of it. First of all, there are two types of storm systems that can form tornadoes. Well, actually, there's three. The first one would be a QLCS, or a quasi-linear convective system, and what that one does, that one is basically, as the name entails, a line of storms with embedded tornadoes, with embedded cells. Now, these type of tornadoes don't usually tend to be strong, though it is possible for them to be strong, but those ones are usually tend to be weak tornadoes. The second type is possibly the worst type, the supercellular storms. Now, what a supercell is pretty much like a cell of storm, basically like a thunderstorm that is all alone. No other storms around it, nothing. And these ones usually tend to produce the most dangerous storms. Now, are they all dangerous? No. I'll get to the tornado ranking system in a minute, but really it's more so of how, of the categorization of them. And a supercell is one of the more basically the more common type of tornadic storms. And the third one can be from a tropical system. Now, these ones are usually very short-lived and very brief. Now, they can be more organized, absolutely, but it's a rarity that it does happen like that. As well as, like, what's it called? Of like, the atmosphere is only right for tornadoes because of a tropical system bringing them together in a short notice. That's what it is. As for the tornado, and we'll move on now to the categorization of tornadoes. Like, how are tornadoes determined? I mean, it's like the strength of them. So, if you don't know, there is a ranking, like hurricanes, there is a system to categorize tornadoes by strength. And this is made by Dr. Fyodor Fujita back in 1973 to categorize tornadoes in a specific manner. At one point, when it was originally made, it was based off of wind speed, and that was used up for. I don't know when it was updated, but when it was updated, it was made into basically categorized by damage it caused. So no more would it be wind damage that determined the tornado strength. It would now be the damage. So we'll go for each one. And I actually do have it up on my phone. So first of all, we'll start off with an Ef4 tornado. An Ef4 tornado is the weakest tornado on the list, ranging from anywhere from 65 miles an hour to 85 miles an hour, with the wind speed and the damage being pretty much like minimal. What the types of damage really just being shingles blown off, gutters damaged, and branches broken. Really just nothing, just, you know, like, kind of like a gusty severe thunderstorm. An Ef1 tornado, which is the second one on our list, has a wind speed of around 86 to 110 miles an hour. And the damage it causes are broken windows, damaged doors, and the overturning of mobile homes. This is why it's always said that you never be in a mobile home during a tornado, because it can be damaged, and it can be picked up. An Ef2 tornado is next on our list, at a wind speed range of around 111 to 135 miles per hour, and the damage here is more significant. You'll see a trend of that, with roofs being torn off, mobile homes being absolutely destroyed, and even large trees are snapped. Probably not in half, but at a certain point to where the wind speed changes can result in the friction of the bark resulting in the tearing of the tree. And the Ef3 tornado is one of the more significant tornadoes on our list, with a wind speed range of between 136 and 165 mph, and the damage here pretty much describes it as entire stories of homes damaged or destroyed, and significant damage to large buildings, like skyscrapers or like large buildings like that. Like, I don't know how else to explain it because I'm not, you know, a good explainer. Why do you think I'm called illogical Canadian? Exactly. Now, an Ef4 tornado, this one is another significant tornado. Wind speeds around 166 to 200 miles per hour, and the damage here being very severe, with the damage being described as well-constructed homes are leveled, as well as cars are thrown a good distance. Now, that distance can vary from a few feet to about half a mile, but I can't be specific on that because I'm no weather genius. And finally, the strongest tornado on our list, the Ef5. Now, an Ef5 tornado, like I said, is the strongest type of tornado, and the wind speeds here are greater than 200 miles per hour. And the damage here is indescribable. But the way it's described is simply well-constructed homes are swept away and trees are completely debarked. Now, Ef5 are the rarest tornadoes on Earth. Even in the US, they are severely rare. Is it possible to have an Ef5 tornado? Absolutely. But it's rare. Maybe get on average one per year. So the next thing I want to talk about really, is kind of the backstory of tornadoes. What are the two big tornado zones, and what were the biggest tornado outbreaks in recorded in really just history? So we'll start with what's it called? We'll start with basically the outbreaks, because the outbreaks are really what shows the danger of a tornado. Now there are two significant outbreaks in human history that are locked. The first one I want to talk about is the April 3rd and April 4th, 1974 tornado super outbreak. This tornado outbreak was known for its widespread destruction and really just catastrophic stories. As James Spann, the author of the recent published book All You Can Do Is Pray, he describes it. He states it as catastrophic damage, and the entire community of Guin in northwestern Alabama was completely destroyed. It was wiped out by an Ef5 tornado. It was undescribable. I don't know the exact amount of tornadoes on that one because I really did do much research on that. But the one I did do a lot of learning on was the most recent super tornado outbreak, the one that superseded the 1974 outbreak. And this one was the April 27th, 2011 tornado outbreak. Now, what makes this tornado outbreak more dangerous than the other one? Well, simply the structure of it. Between April 25th and April 28th, 2011, 362 tornadoes touched down on a line between Texas and southern Ontario, Canada. On April 27th, 2011 alone, 218 tornadoes touched down, with 62 touching down in the state of Alabama. And with that, 3 Ef5 tornadoes and 8 Ef4s. On a day like that, that is really rare. In James Spann's book, All You Can Do Is Pray, he says there were 2 rounds of storms that produced tornadoes. The first one being in the morning. And the morning storms with it brought several tornadoes, mainly ranging from Ef1 to Ef3, with the more significant damage being in the communities of Coling, Cordova, and Holly Pond. These are all different communities in different parts of the state, but they're all within the same region, mainly central Alabama. And that was along a linear system of storms, or the QLCS that I mentioned earlier. With that, 250,000 people in the state were without power, and 5 people had died that morning. But however, the afternoon storms would be a lot worse, with a lot more damage being caused by a second round, which was more supercellular. Places like Tuscaloosa, Pleasant Grove, Fultondale, Pratt City, Smithfield Estates, Cordova again, Coleman, even the small town of Hackleburg. Like I said, you probably never even heard of these towns or communities in your lives. You probably don't even know what in that God's name I'm talking about. But in order to understand the outbreak, you gotta understand the communities that are involved. I want to mainly focus on Hackleburg. Unlike the rest of them, which were hit by Ef4 tornadoes, which are very significant in their own right, Hackleburg is a small town, again in northwestern Alabama, and it was hit by an Ef5 tornado. It was about 3/4 of a mile wide, but at the time, it was a half-mile wide, going right through the heart of Hackleburg along U.S. Route 43. Pretty much, the entire city was destroyed. Same with Ewan in 1974. But unlike what happened in 1974, more tornadoes touched down on this day. In 1974, only 23 people in Alabama died. In 2011, 252. 251 names plus another one with 6 months gestation that resulted in the baby's death because of the mother being injured in the tornadoes. Basically, it was a very dark day in that state's history, as you can imagine. But what's interesting to learn about these is really how they form and really the complexion of how one tornado can change the lives of people. Can change the lives of people. It is absolutely insane to hear stories from survivors who experienced either loss of life or just lost everything. It's heartbreaking, and you never ever want to hear something like that, but that's the way that people learn about these things. That's the way that people find out. And through social science, it's really found that that's the only way people can really have closure, just by talking about it and really just accepting the fact that what happened happened, and they need to, plan their next motive to figure out how to figure out what's next. Now, in the United States, there are two distinct alleys of these tornadic systems in which they form. There's two. The first one being the traditional tornado alley, which is from northern Texas to about South Dakota. I'm not sure those are the exact parameters, but from what I've seen, that is probably the most accurate one that I can give. The second alley I can really give is the more widely known Dixie Alley. Dixie Alley is an area of the southeastern U.S. from Louisiana to Georgia, range around northern and central Alabama, as well as neighboring Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas, and so on and so forth. Now, a final thing I want to talk about, really, just to wrap up. What was the largest tornado recorded? Like, what was the... Well, actually, there's two parts to this. What was the most destructive tornado in the United States and the world? And what was the largest? Because there's two different answers to that. Well, actually, three. As to what's the most destructive tornado in the U.S., that one belongs to the May 3rd, 1999 Oklahoma... Well, not really Oklahoma City, but it's referred to as the May 3rd, 1999 Moore, Oklahoma tornado, when a devastating F5 ravaged through the city of Moore. As for the most destructive one in the world, that belongs to a one that hit Bangladesh in 1989, killing 1,300 people and displacing tens of thousands of people. As for the largest tornado, that really just belongs to the 2013 El Reno tornado, with the width of that tornado being 2.6 miles wide. To put into a perspective, the average tornado is only about 1/4 of a mile wide, or about the length of a football field. That's it. That's how big tornadoes normally get, but the El Reno tornado was so large that you could fit the two smallest countries in the world within it, Vatican City and Monaco. It was that large, and it produced wind speeds up to 296 miles per hour. Despite the wind speed and its size, he was only given an Ef4 rating because of the damage. But let's go back to the Moore tornado for a second, because the wind speeds for that one were about 305 miles per hour. Yes, 300 mile per hour winds from a tornado. That is insane. But to summarize the whole lesson here, just tornadoes are scary, but if you take some simple steps, you'll be fine. Number one, if you're in a sturdy building and you have a basement, then go to the basement. Find the most sturdy part of the basement and ride out the storm. And stay there until given a green light to come out. 1B would really be if you are in a sturdy building and you do not have a basement, then the alternative would be to go to the lowest floor, the most ground level floor of that building, in a small room or the most interior room of that building in the center, away from windows, putting as much walls between you and the outside world as you possibly can. Number two, you absolutely have to be out of a mobile home. Because as I described earlier with some of the damage involving mobile homes, it is not safe and they can be picked up and tossed. That's why when I say you have to be out of a mobile home, it's really necessary. And every meteorologist that has covered a tornado warning will tell you the same thing. No mobile homes. Number three, no cars. If you're in a car, you need to seek more substantial shelter. Now before more, it was said to use highway underpasses as a shelter if you were on a highway and you could not get anywhere else. Now, since more, this has changed, and because of the fact that people took shelter at highway underpasses but were sucked up and killed. So now it is recommended that you stop at a gas station or a convenience store and they'll let you in. It's just to pull off the road and just to seek shelter. As long as you can get there, they will let you in and you can take shelter to keep yourself safe. Same thing with a mobile home. It's required that you need to be in a substantial shelter, and it is recommended that you go to a more sturdy building. Also, and after a tornado has passed, you're given the all clear to come out. Simply wear hard sole shoes because you will be walking through debris, you'll be walking through sharp objects, as well as live power lines. As well, also have a portable air horn because that is a good sign to tell if you need help. That's a way to signal paramedics, say, hey, I need help, I need help. If you take those steps, you will be fine, and everything will be okay. But as my little quick addition, don't panic, because panicking is gonna make things worse for you. In my generalization, it's not gonna help anybody else around you either. It's just gonna make things more stressful, and it's gonna make everything more complicated. So stay calm, breathe, and just get through it and get out of there. No time for emotions. do what you gotta do to help others, or do what you gotta do to help yourself or anyone that needs it. But anyways, I think that'll wrap up that video, which is very new to me. And if you enjoyed it, please let me know if you want to see more of that. Because like I said, I'm just experimenting new ideas, and I would love to hear and see what you guys would like to see regarding that topic. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy it, if you did, please leave a like down below. It was always greatly appreciated. If you are new, subscribe to the channel, join the Illogical Army. Every edition is a new blessing in disguise. Also, for any suggestions, leave them down below, and I will read every single one of them because I love reading comments, because that helps me improve, and that helps me figure out what it is I need to do better. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Au revoir.